जा रहा है मैं स्टार्ट हो गया और कुछ नहीं बताएंगे
Good evening, guys.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
Good evening. So we are now going to start this session. Okay. So myself, Krishna Kumar. I am founder of Learnbay. This is a training institute and a training company which provides data science and artificial intelligence certificates. Okay. So see now most of the now everyone is at home, right? So what we thought is like we have launched data science preparatory classes which will help you to learn basics of Python and basics of statistics free. Okay, so it will be a live online session from Monday to Friday every day, from Monday to Friday from 8 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. Okay, 2.5 hours every day. We will be doing it for 3-4 weeks. Okay. Uh, yeah. So before we start learning Python, I'll just give you a brief introduction about how to learn data science and artificial intelligence. You know, what are the prerequisites? If you are a fresher versus if you are a working professional, then how basically what are modules you need to learn and how much in depth you need to learn. What is the importance of real time projects? All these things we will be discussing. Okay. It will be around 30 to 35 minutes of discussion, around 40-45 minutes max. And after that, we will be starting with basics of Python. Okay. We'll start from the very basics. This session is for someone who is very new to programming. Okay. Who is going to learn programming, Python as a as a first programming language. So the session is for them. If you already know Python, you might find this boring. Okay. So if you already know Python, you are working in data science and machine learning. We will have some other advanced machine learning sessions targeted for those kind of candidates. So if you are very new to programming, you don't know what exactly if you are from a non-programming background or you have done programming but 5-6 years back, now you're not in touch. Now this session will be for those kind of people. Okay. I would request everyone to be on mute. Whenever you have any doubts, you can just ask. Okay, if you have any doubts, you can unmute yourself and then you can ask. There are certain other tools also where you can raise your hand. Okay, you can raise your hand or you can post your doubts in the chat. Okay, those who are okay, I think some people are facing the audio issues. I'm audible, right?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Okay. So, like first question that comes to our mind is why you should learn data science. Now that's the most important thing, right? So we should start with why. So we will be starting with why, and the question is why you should learn data science. Now, if you see, they mostly like you if you are working if you are a working professional. So first we'll start with a working professional. Okay, so if you are a working professional, you might be, so there are multiple domains, right? There are multiple domains in which people are working. So some people, let's consider example. So okay, there are two three different segment that I can divide the working professionals. Okay, which will cover most of the so just take an example of somebody working as a software developer. Okay, somebody working as a Java programmer, Android developer, app developer, right? Web developer, these kind of things. Someone working in now here we will have somebody who is working in manual testing, networking, telecom domain. So these kind of domains. Okay, IT admin, system admin. These are .NET developer, Now there are few domains. See, there are few domains where you need to change your domain and you need to learn something new. It's very urgent. So somebody who is working in manual testing, who is working in like networking, telecom domain, system admin, IT admin, database admin. So these kind of people, there is some urgency. You need to change your domain and upgrade your domain, right? There are multiple things that you can learn. So you can go for you can select some technology like, okay, you can learn cloud also. You can learn cloud DevOps, cyber security, data science and AI. We will be comparing these things. Which one should see? Everyone can't become a data scientist. So we are not saying like everyone needs to learn this data science. You need to evaluate your profile properly, whether this data science is suitable for you, or you should go for a cloud, you should go for a DevOps, you should go for a cyber security also. So if you're a working professional, you need to see whatever domain you are targeting, like whatever technology you are going to learn, that technology should match and should be relevant to your current work experience. Now that's the most important thing. So if you choose something which is very important to your current work experience, then you should go ahead and learn that instead of uh, if everybody is going for data science, so we'll go for data science. You read some article and everyone is started learning data science only. So that's not the correct way. You need to get your profile evaluated properly, and based on that you need to decide the best way is, if you are a working professional, you need to see if you have more than 4 or 5 years of experience, you need to see whether you need to see whether your current experience and your current expertise, whether those things will be utilized if you learn data science and artificial intelligence. Okay, so why you should learn data science? So one reason is, if someone is working in these domains, okay, so if you're working in this manual testing, networking and automation, your job is at risk. Okay, your job is at risk because now there will be automation and artificial intelligence which will be affecting your job. Whatever job you are doing, that will be automated, and that will be like artificial intelligence and machine learning will be taking care of all those things. The technologies, but you need to change this. You need to change your domain first. Now, compare, okay, considering the example of these developers like Java, Android, web developer. Now, see, there are two things. If you're working in an industry, there is something called survival, then there is something called career growth, and there is something called exponential career growth. Okay. So, anyway, in this segment, you are not going to see much growth in your career because your job is at risk. Okay. Someone is asking some question. How do we, okay, please attend the session, you will come to know. Don't worry, I will be sharing my WhatsApp number. We can have a one-on-one discussion also. See, you will be, if you are attending the session today, you will be attending it for the Python and all the other classes also. It's a 5-day session. Okay, we will be answering all these queries. You just attend this. Let me finish this slide. Whatever question you have asked, that will be there. The answer of your question will be in this slide only. So let me finish this. Cyber security, data science, AI, basically all the future skills. Okay. Now, see, this one is like you are just, like you need to change your domain. Your job is at risk. The second is software developer, Java. Here you will see a kind of survival only. A normal career growth you will expect. A 20 are available. So the companies have multiple options. Okay. Now, all these future technologies, if you learn all these future technologies, then you will be able to see the exponential career growth. Okay. See, there is lots of difference between this career growth and exponential career growth. I'll give you an example. I think in the session also there will be few guys who have joined IT industry, or if you know your managers, or like somebody who has joined thousand. Okay, so those guys who have joined this IT industry at that point of time, they have seen a very exponential career growth. Okay, if somebody has joined the IT industry in 2009 to 2012, they have seen a normal career growth. Okay, I'm taking the average case. Okay, don't compare it with some IITian who is getting a package of 60 lakhs or something. Just take an average case. Somebody from a normal college, those who have joined this industry around 2000, they have seen a very good career growth. Most of them have got a 40, 50, 60% hike or 100% hike also during that time in IT industry, because that was very new and there was a very good career growth there. Okay, people, most of the guys have got everyone who joined during this time, they have got on-site opportunities, and that also a long-term on-site. I have joined IT industry in 2009. Okay, at that time, whichever manager I met there, it's around 10 years back, right? So when I joined there, so my managers they have joined the industry in around 2000. Okay, so most of them have 2-3 flats in Bangalore. Now those who have joined IT industry in 2010 or 12, they are struggling to get have a one flat also, right? So now that's the difference. Somebody who has joined this industry in this time have seen the exponential career growth in initial phases of their career. Growth mode to exponential career growth mode, and that's where these kind of technology will help you to achieve that. So if you learn data science, if you learn cyber security, if you learn artificial intelligence, if you learn blockchain, okay, those technologies also you can compare which one is like better. But these are the technologies that will help you to learn. Any questions? We'll take the questions. Okay, audio is see in your, I think if you have your, okay, if you have an internet issue from your side, then you won't be able to see this. I think, let me see. If you have an internet issue, you won't be able to there'll be some audio issues. Okay, I think most of the guys, they don't have issues, so we'll continue. So this is one of the reasons. So basically, for your exponential career growth, you should learn data science. Okay, now we are discussing why you should learn data science. So for your just hold for a second. There is some technical issue. Is this fine now? Hello?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, this is fine.
Oh, this is fine, right? So, sorry, some internet issue is there. Okay. So what I was saying is why you should learn data science. So one is this for exponential career growth. The second thing is since data science is used in all the domain. Okay, whether it is a
Sir, I have a question.
You may put it in the chat box, please.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
guys will do one thing. Okay, I'll just hand it over to Abhishek. He will be teaching you Python. I think there is some internet issue at my home. So I'll continue this part, this session, okay, this introduction to the data science thing tomorrow. You just start learning Python. Tomorrow for 45 minutes, I will be continuing this. So you just, okay, this is just a kind of introduction. So I'll just hand it over to Abhishek. Directly we'll start with Python. Tomorrow I'll take this session. Okay, I'll inform you guys. Maybe it will be the same time, 8 p.m. only. So I'll just finish this. There is some internet issue. Just hold for a second. So Abhishek will take over. He will teach you Python programming. It will start with basics.
Yeah. Actually, somebody was not muted, so it is creating some big noise around them.
Oh, okay. No, my meeting is also getting disconnected. Okay, so I don't know. Like now, is this fine now?
No, there is a noise around somewhere. It's bell sound is coming. Can you guys please mute your audio?
Now also you are getting this noise.
Yeah. I think somebody mic not muted. That is why we are getting
No,
some
I have
noise.
just see. I have muted everyone. Now see, I have muted everyone.
Okay, still there is a bell sound. You can't hear
It's
the bell
okay.
sound.
It's okay.
Now I'm see if you are hearing, then I will also hear that sound.
Okay, I don't know. Really, I'm getting the noise from.
You can just log out of the meeting and again join. For other guys, is it fine? Shall I continue or shall?
Yes, it is fine.
Yeah, this is fine. Please continue.
Yeah. So if this time if I'm getting the internet connection from my home, I'll see I give it to Abhishek. He will start teaching Python directly. Okay. Okay. So yeah. Since all the industries they make use of data science, so the best thing is you might be working in any of this domain. If you learn data science, you don't have to change your domain. So don't think like you have to change your domain. Okay, you are not changing your domain. You are learning data science on top of it. Suppose somebody is working in take an example, banking and finance domain. Okay, he's working as a business analyst. He's just using Excel to do this kind of analytics. Now if you learn Python, machine learning, statistics and all those things, it will be a kind of upgrade. Somebody working in insurance, somebody working in e-commerce, retail, supply chain domain, healthcare domain, pharmaceutical, you're going to learn this data science, which will be a kind of add-on. You're not going to change your domain. So since most of the professionals, they are already working in this domain, and since data science and AI will be used in all these domains, so it's easier. Now if you compare this to something called a blockchain, that will be very new technology for you, or maybe like cyber security. If someone is working in banking and finance, if now his profile, if he has to compare between cyber security versus data science, I think data science will be a best option. And see, if somebody already working in the cyber security domain, they are also nowadays learning artificial intelligence, because there is lots of multiple use cases where cyber security and AI will be used. Okay, automotive also, you can see like there are use cases in automotive, self-driving car that is using artificial intelligence. Other use cases are also there. Manufacturing also we have use case. Power sector also it is there. Everywhere it is being used. So it's somewhat easier. If you are working in any of these domains, you can easily learn data science and AI, and it will be relevant for your career. So demand, see, and second and third thing is demand is there. But now our question is, can anyone learn to be a data scientist? Right. So that's the question. See, why you should learn data science? Now this is a kind of generic answer, right? You need to find your region, and you need to understand what is the actual benefit that you will get after learning this. There are multiple things that you need to consider for that. So one is your career goal. Now that's most important for a working professional, because for a working professional there are multiple challenges. So for a working professional, if you are a working professional, you need to understand what is your short-term goal and what is your long-term goal. Okay. Now there are two things. If you want to learn data science, the two goals mostly people have. One is they want to entirely change their domain. Now see, whatever domain I have given here, banking, finance, health, science. Now there can be somebody who is working in web development, and maybe he's not working in a very specific domain. Somebody working in Java development, he's not working in a very specific domain. An Android developer. Okay, so basically there are two different sets of people. One don't have any domain knowledge. The other guy, they are working in the domain. So if you are already working in some of the domain where data science is relevant, you can directly go ahead and you can learn. It will be a good career option for you. Now the second set of people who don't have any domain experience. Now if they want to learn, they will face multiple challenges. So one is they need to learn all these data science tools. The second challenge that they are going to face, they need to learn the domain also. They need to have some kind of domain knowledge also. So for them it will be more challenging. Okay, so you need to see what is your goal. If you want to become a data science, so basically if you want to use the data science in your existing domain and in your existing job, the second thing is you have to entirely change your domain and you have to get a new job. Now these are two different things. If you have to change your job immediately in short term versus maybe you are working in some organization and you just want to learn this and you want to change your domain, and you want to learn this and you will be using this in the same domain. So these two things you need to decide. One should be so basically if you want to change your domain entirely and want to get a new job in a very different domain, that is going to take some more time. You need to learn your domain also. Okay. If you just want to use data science in existing domain and job, you have got some advantage because you don't have to learn for your domain. Okay, you don't need that. You don't need to learn about your domain. Since you have the domain knowledge, you just learn these things. It will help you to solve the problem, whatever problem you are facing in your current domain. You can use the data science. So that is one thing. Now, see, there is some other thing like working professionals versus freshers. Okay, so working professionals, domain knowledge is really important. Somebody will say that, okay, you don't see, there are some domains that are easier to learn. If you're not from any of the domain, better you can choose the banking and finance domain, which you can easily learn. Okay, it will be easier for you to learn the banking and finance domain, the use cases and all. So, but domain knowledge is important. Without domain, you can't work on the project. Because project will be from some particular domain. Project will be from a domain. There will be some problem statement that and then you need to have some solution, and then you will be implementing that solution with data science and machine learning algorithm. Now, if you don't have the domain knowledge, you won't be able to do that. So most of the guys will not tell you like if you go for some institute or some training, they will not say that domain knowledge is important. But the actual thing I have seen is domain knowledge is really important. Two things, you can have the domain knowledge or you need to learn. Okay, if you don't have any domain knowledge, better to target banking, finance, and retail domain, because it will be somewhat easier. Now, you can't target pharmaceutical and healthcare domain, okay, if you don't have any domain knowledge. That is very, very difficult. So this is but domain knowledge is really important for working professionals. Second thing which most of the people they have is like, okay, 2 years experience versus 12 years experience, right? So somebody has 1.5 or 2 years, 3, 4, 5 years of experience versus someone who has 12, 13, 14 years of experience. Now, both these kind of candidates are looking to upgrade their skills. So what is the difference? The difference is in the job role that you will be targeting. Okay, so somebody with less than, I would say like less than 7-8 years of experience, they can become individual contributors. See, they can become an individual contributor. They can target the data scientist role. Somebody with more than 10 years of experience, I have written 12 years, but just consider somebody with more than 10 years of experience, they need to target a data science manager. Okay, a data science manager and data analytics manager are the individuals who are managing a data science project end to end. Okay, so there are multiple job openings in TCS with service-based companies also and product-based companies also for data science managers. So those who have more than 12 years of experience, you should better target this data science manager role instead of individual contributor. Now, see, you can become an individual contributor also. Anybody can become any role they can target, but it's recommended to somebody with more than 10 years of experience to go for this data science manager role, because if you are targeting data science manager, it's somewhat easier. Okay, it's somewhat easier, and it's better to. I will be sharing my WhatsApp number at the end. Okay, and one moment. Somebody with 2 to 5 years and 10 plus years. So 2 to 5 years of experience, you can become an individual contributor. I'm writing it IC and data analytics manager. Okay, data science manager. See, a data science, if you're targeting a data science manager role, in data science manager role also, you need to have complete overview of end-to-end all the tools, everything. The only difference is you just need overview. You're not going to implement the code in Python, but you should have some knowledge. You should have a knowledge of, okay, how you need to understand, like you need to understand whether this is a feasible solution, or you should be able to handle your team. You should be able to understand the client requirement. Now, in that case, you need to have knowledge of complete thing end to end, starting from Python coding till deployment, but I'm saying not in depth. You need a kind of vertical knowledge. You need to have a knowledge of all the tools. For you, deployment is also important. It's as important as Python programming for you. Machine learning also, Tableau also, everything as a data analytics manager. Now, for an individual contributor role, you also should have a knowledge of end-to-end, but you need some in-depth knowledge in programming. You need an in-depth knowledge in machine learning. You need in-depth knowledge in statistics. Okay, so this is the difference. An individual contributor, you need to handle everything technically end to end, and you need to implement the code. So you should be good in programming. You should be good in machine learning algorithms. A data analytics manager, since you have more than 10 years of experience, so it will be very difficult for you to become an expert in data science just by having some training. You need some kind of expertise. Maybe like if you are working here as a data analytics manager for 4 or 5 years, or maybe like, okay, 2 years, then you can become an individual contributor. So directly somebody with 10 years of experience working in some very different domain, okay, and if that guy want to become a data scientist as an individual contributor, is very, very difficult. See, you need to consider everything. I'm just telling the average case. You need to consider everything. Without quitting your job, you need to learn all these things. Now that's the problem. You need to manage your family also. You need to manage your office also. You need to manage your current job role also, and then you need to learn. So it's very difficult to to learn all those things, so that so basically the expectation will be more if you are 10 plus years of experience. So with some sort of training, or like with some sort of 6 months or 8 months or even 1 year of training will also not help you in most of the cases to become successful if you are targeting an individual contributor role. So better to target a data science manager roles. There are multiple openings there. Those who have more than 10 plus year of experience, those who have experience between 2 to 5 even 2 to 10, you can say, like 2 to 8, 8, 9, 8, 9, they have option of both the things. Okay. The best time is, like 1 year to 5 years. Now, if somebody has 1 year to 5 years of experience, it's very, very easy for them. Easy means time. I'm saying how much time it takes to finally get a job. So that I'm on that time. See, when I'm saying somebody with 8 years of experience, they will also become an individual contributor, but for them it might take 1 year. I'll explain you why it take 1 year. Somebody between 1 to 5, it will take around 6-7 months total time. So the time will increase as the experience increase. The time will increase because you need to work on more number of projects, and you should have some more in-depth knowledge. So as your experience increase, time also increases. Less than 5 years of experience, 6 to 7 months. Between 5 to 10, it will take 10 to 12 months. Okay. More than 10 plus years of experience, it will take at least 1 year for you to become this data science manager. I'm just considering you are an average guy, okay, from a normal engineering college, working working as a manager, or maybe like a lead or something. I'm just considering the average case. Don't say like, okay, I know one of my friend who is who was able to learn data science and become a data scientist in some very good company in 4 months only. So that might be that is the exception. Okay, but if you consider the average case, it will take time. So you should be, if you are planning to learn all these things, you need to at least minimum time that it will take is 6 to 7 months. Less than that, it's impossible. Now comparing this with freshers, right? Data science for freshers. Data science for freshers, if you consider see, freshers, they have multiple challenges as of now in the industry. Most of the companies who earlier were mass recruiter, now they have stopped hiring from the college. Okay. So these companies, so as a fresher, you already have the challenge. It's going to be a challenging for you. So you need to consider this data science versus some other domain, right? So you need to select whether I should learn data science or whether I should learn cloud, whether I should learn DevOps. So it depends on your academics. Okay, it depends on your academics. If you're from computer science background, you might go for cyber security and cloud also. If you're not, if you're from suppose mechanical background or electrical background, and then if you want to move into IT, so a non-CS IT background, if you want to move into IT, then this is the best. Data science and AI is going to be one of the best option, because if you're from mechanical, you can target manufacturing domain companies. If you're from mechanical, you can get a job at Robert Bosch. So these are the chances. There are many guys who are from mechanical and they are working in Robert Bosch in artificial intelligence and data science. Okay, so these companies will have the requirement for non-CSIT background also. If you are from CSIT, you have multiple options. Like you can choose data science. Audible now?
Yes, sir.
There was some, okay, I don't know what's the issue. So see, one thing is sure, like anyone. So see, if there everything, anybody can do anything, right? It's the motivation and it's your skills that will be required. But the thing is, you need to select which is the, like whether you should learn this or not. That depends on lots of factors. That depends on your work experience. If you are a working professional, your academics, your goal. So these are the things that you need to consider. See, data science, there is no prerequisite. Okay, there is no prerequisite for it. Someone who has done MBA, someone who has done MCA, someone who has done Masters, someone who has done BTech. For everybody, this is new. Okay, I'll tell you. A BTech guy, they will have some edge because they will have some advantage over programming. Okay, a BTech in CSIT will have some advantage in programming. Okay, non-CSIT also, they will be somewhat familiar with the technology and programming. So for them, programming is the advantage. The problem with BTech, the weakness of a BTech guy is for data science, from perspective of data, I'm saying domain knowledge. Okay, so if somebody who has done BTech, if they are selecting this data science as a career, they have one advantage, one disadvantage. Okay, someone who has done MBA, MCA also same, they will come under this category. Somebody who has done MBA, now they will be struggling with programming. But for domain knowledge and business knowledge, they will not struggle. Now, BTech guy will struggle in domain knowledge and business knowledge. So for them, this is the weakness, this is the strength, right? Somebody who has done a master's, suppose mathematics, okay, mathematics and statistics, they will have an advantage on mathematics, statistics. They will also not, like they will also learn programming easily, but they will again struggle with business and domain knowledge. So for all these, even MBA guys also, MBA versus BE BTech, if you say, both are given the equal priority. Now BE BTech, they have option to like work in some core technology area where MBA guys will not be able to, but MBA, they have better opportunities in banking, finance, and retail domain. Okay, BTech guys, they can work in automotive domain also, they can work on computer vision, they can work on natural language processing and all these areas. So that's one of the advantage. But MBA guys have advantage in banking and finance domain. So it's just a trade-off. You need to evaluate it based on your work experience, your domain. Work experience plus your domain. You need to see, if you're planning to learn all these things, you need to understand that you need to work on some of the project which is relevant to your domain. So you need to work on a relevant project, which is, because you see, otherwise if you're working in retail and in data science, if you want to move in banking and finance, then your retail experience will not be counted, right? So if you have experience in retail, better to work on retail projects. So you need to first finalize on the projects. Now that's the most important part. If in your domain there is no projects where data science will be fit in, which is very less like that won't be the case in most of the time. But in that case, you need to target a domain. So you need to finalize a domain. If you have knowledge, that's the advantage. If you don't have, then you need to finalize a domain and then go ahead. Work experience. If you have more work experience, you need to understand what kind of job roles you will get. So before taking a decision that you need to learn this, you need to understand what you will get after learning, right? So if you're more and at what cost? Okay, cost, I'm saying at the how much time it takes, like effort and all. So if somebody has 10 plus years of experience, you need to understand. See, don't think like okay, in 6 months or in 3 months you will become a data scientist. It will take years. It will take 1 year at least to finally be able to get a job. Somebody with 2-3 years of experience, 2 years to 5 years of experience, you can just like dream of becoming a data scientist in 6 months if you put like effort in the right direction. So lots of things you need to consider. It's not about like whether you have to think whether you will be able to learn or not. It's a very specific question, which the answer only you can get. Now you need to consider what all efforts are there, and then you need to ask whether you will be able to do it or not. Whether you have 6 months or you have 9 months to dedicate on these things. If you don't have, then there is no point. Then you just read some articles about this. If you can put this at least 6 to 8 months of 6 to 8 months of time, then only you should go ahead and start learning. And one more thing, learning only Python. Okay, you feel like, okay, if you can become a data analyst by just learning Python and some part of a statistics or R and SQL. See, nowadays it's very difficult. IT industry has changed a lot. Now most of the companies, they are looking for the skill set and they are looking for candidates who can work end to end, everything. You should have knowledge of Python also. You should have knowledge of R also, SQL also, Tableau also, machine learning also. At least you should have knowledge of all those things. So even for data analyst job also, when you are going for an interview, they might ask, okay, when you get a job, you might be working only on R and SQL or Python and SQL. But in the interview, see, first you need to crack the interview, right? Then only you will be selected and you will be able to work. So when you are going for a data analyst job also, in the interviews, they will be asking you machine learning. When you are going for a machine learning job, they will be asking you deep learning, computer vision, and all those things. So interview is different and work is different. You will be working on one specific area, but before that you have to crack the interview. For data analyst also, nowadays they are asking for machine learning, they are asking for deep learning, so all those things. So the best thing is you need to learn everything end to end. You can't become, okay, somebody is asking questions. What are you going to learn from this session? Second hours of session, Python basics. After 15 minutes, I'll finish, and after that, we will be starting BTech plus MBA. Okay, now I think somebody has asked a question. BTech plus MBA is the best profile. Okay, if somebody has done BTech and then someone has done MBA, now this is your chances of your profile is the best profile for data science. You have domain knowledge also, you have technical knowledge also. Okay, in terms of your academics, you need to learn all these things. Your academics will help for in your career further. Okay, so BTech plus MBA is the best job, so best profile. We are going to learn Python basics. We are going to start Python programming in these sessions. For these 5 days, we will be learning Python, and then we will be learning basics of statistics and mathematics. I will be sharing you some of the already recorded sessions also, which will have projects, which will have machine learning and all those things. Those sessions, you can just go through those sessions. After 2 weeks, if I have done maths honors and masters in data science engineering, this is also really good. See, mathematics I have written, right? If somebody has done mathematics, you can perfectly go for this. Now, which are modules you need to learn? So you need to learn all these modules. Now, see, when I say end to end, right? You can't become expert in everything. So you need to understand. You need to become expert in few of the areas, and then you need to become expert in few of the areas. BTech 1 year experience and 4 years. I'll do one thing. I'll provide my All these profiles are very. There is no issues with this profile. BTech 1 year programming experience, 4 year experience as operation manager. That's perfectly fine. There is no issue with this. Okay. See, even you are from a technical, non-technical, it's all about learning. You need to understand it's going to take time. That's it. If your profile is somewhat not relevant, it will take more time. If you are open to learn programming, if you are open to learn mathematics. Okay. So basically at that, okay, suppose somebody has done someone he has done a BTech in mechanical and working in manual testing. Okay, let's consider a worst case scenario, and then I'll tell you in worst case someone has done a BTech, someone has done a BTech in civil engineering. Let's take an example, civil engineering. Okay, and that guy is working in TCS from last 2 years in manual testing. Now his profile looks very, it's not that much relevant, right? Now consider somebody who is a BTech in computer science and is working in Wipro or same company, TCS, 2 years as a Python programmer. Take this example, Python programmer, okay, in banking and finance domain. This guy, anyway, it's perfectly fine, right? He can go with the data science course. Now coming to this guy, his previous experience, it's not matching, right? If he learns this data science, it's not matching with his previous experience. Now, even if he learns, now what option he has? Now let's consider the option. For him, everything is same: data science, blockchain, cyber security, cloud, everything is same for him. if you learn data science, the chances are, since in data science you are learning multiple technologies, so the number of job opportunities will be more. Okay, and you don't have to become an expert programmer if you want to become go for this data analyst and data scientist role. So the best option for him is to learn data science. Now if this guy is also learning data science versus this guy is also learning data science, for him it might take this guy in 4 or 5 months he will be job ready. Okay, he will be confident and he will be going for an interview. He can work on the projects properly. Now this guy will be struggling. So struggling means he will struggle for another 3 months or 4 months. So in this guy, for worst case, will be around 8 months of efforts, because this guy already have experience in banking and finance. He can just work on the banking and finance domain. Okay, he can work the banking and finance domain projects. He will be able to complete those projects in less time only. Now this guy will take more time. He can also learn. See, he has also done a BTech in civil. He also understands mathematics. Okay, programming, anyone can learn Python programming. Okay, now this guy is also already working in Python, so he will struggle less in Python. So anyway, like he just will complete Python in 1 month. Now this guy, it will take 2.5 months to learn Python. Okay, so there is a difference of 1.5 months here, and then in projects also around 2-3 months of difference. So finally there is a difference of 4 months, I would say. So 4 to 5 months, 7 to 8 months. That's the actual difference. So if your profile is not that relevant, you need to put more effort. For you, it will take some more time. That's it. Now, once you learn all these things, the companies, when you are going for an interview, there won't be much difference. Now, there will be some difference. The companies, those who are hiring for data science, will prefer this candidate. But since there is more demand, so the companies, they are not able to find the right candidate, and there is lots of demand in this. So they now have to hire these candidates also. See, in future, okay, after 2-3 years, this profile will be rejected. The chances of getting a job for this profile will be very, very less. Now for this guy to get a job is 80%, this guy is around 70%. In future, this guy will be around 70%, this guy will be around 30% after 3 years. Because after 3 years, there will be more profiles who has actual real-time experience. So this guy will not be able to compete. But as of now, you also have a chance. Okay. I will be sharing you some of the recordings. Okay, for the data science introductory sessions. You will come to know what all things will be done in the data science. Basically, you will be analyzing the data. The businesses will be, so by analyzing the data, business will be able to get the more insights, and they can make the better decisions using this data. Just read some blog, you will be able to understand what exactly. Even in politics also, now everybody is using this data science. Okay, everywhere this data science and analytics, machine learning will be used. Just consider the example of a recommendation engine in Amazon and Flipkart. You will be able to understand what's the use case. So that's that example. You can take a retail example. Now which all modules you need to learn. Now coming to this part, right? You can see here, like left hand side, I have some modules, 6 modules. Right hand side, there are like multiple modules. Now data science, there are multiple job roles. You need to target the jobs which is good for your future and good for your career. As of now, see, based on the market research, I'm saying as of now, okay, these things keeps changing. Okay, now if you see the okay, what I have done is, this part is the high priority part. This part you have to learn in depth. These 6 modules. These modules you should know basics. Okay, these things keeps changing. Now see, our programming was very important 1.5 and 1 year back. Now all the companies will be using Python, because Python has a very good support for the artificial intelligence, okay, and machine learning and natural language processing and computer vision. So most of the projects are now developed in Python only. Earlier, it was not the case. Earlier, two years back, our programming was very, very important. But now, learning. So if you get an option of learning Python versus R, it's better to learn Python. So I'm giving you these modules. So these modules, the modules on the left-hand side, you need to learn in depth. You need to work on multiple real-time projects from these modules. Python, like machine learning projects on machine learning using Python, projects on natural language processing using Python, deep learning using TensorFlow. So these are the modules that you need to become expert in. Okay, for somebody with less than 10 years of experience, I'm saying, for somebody with less than 10 years of experience, you have to learn left-hand side module in depth. You need to work on at least 3, 4, 5 projects. The project will depend on your experience. Somebody with more 5 to 10 years of experience, okay, someone with 5 to 10 years of experience, let's take an example. Somebody with 2 to 5 years of experience, you need to work on 3 to 4 projects. Somebody with 5 to 10 years of experience, you need to work. So if your experience is 6 years, you need to work on 5 to 6 projects. If your experience is 10 years, you need to work on one more project. 10 plus years of experience, I'll tell you what exactly you need to do. You need to work, see, these guys has to really implement the project properly. 10 plus years of experience, you're not going to implement. You need to work on the project, but in a different perspective. Okay, you're not going to implement it, but you need to take it as a kind of case study. And you need to work, but you don't have to focus more on the coding. If you focus more on the coding, you can't work on 8 projects. It will take years to work on the 8 projects. So you don't have to focus more on the coding and technical part, on the coding part at least. Okay, you need to have the domain knowledge. You need to understand the problem properly, and then you need to understand like how to solve this particular problem using machine learning and using these things. So 10 plus year of experience is a very different case. 5 to 10, you need to work on more number of projects. That's where it takes more time. Okay, 2 to 5, the best chances you need to work on less number of projects, and the companies will expect some less in-depth knowledge from you. So the chances of getting a job will be more in less time. In 2 to 5 years of experience, 5 to 10 years of experience, it will take around 7 to 8 months minimum. Because you need to work on multiple projects, you need to target at least 2 domains. Better to target 2 domains. These guys can target 1 domain only, either it will be banking or retail or marketing or healthcare, any 1 domain. 10 plus years of experience, you would already have worked on 3, 4 domains. Just work on 2 projects from each domain. Now, as somebody with 2 to 5 years, somebody with less experience, you need to work these modules in depth. These modules you should have some kind of working knowledge. Somebody with more than 10 plus years of experience, so you don't have to learn everything in depth. You have to learn overview of all these things properly in a very different way. So same thing you need to learn, but your perspective will be different. You are learning. You need an overview of end to end. More than 10 plus year of experience, guys. Now, if somebody with less than 5 years of experience, even if he missed this Spark thing or some part like MongoDB, for him it's perfectly fine. But as more than 10 plus years of experience, at least you should have basic knowledge of all the mandatory tools. Sometimes more than these tools, what I mentioned. That's what as of now industry see. Don't go with the definitions of job role, business analyst, data analyst. All these are theoretical. All these things, no, it's on paper. They will write all these things. But practically, you will see like, okay, these are the skill set that basically you need to learn. So as of now, data science job roles has not been standardized properly. You will see data analyst job role. If you see the content of that job role versus a data scientist and machine learning job role, most of the time, no, it's a copy paste and it's same. So don't get confused with the job roles now. You need to define it in terms of your experience and what all technology you need to learn. It has not been, the definition of this data science and the job role has not been standardized properly. And the project, when you are selecting the project, it should be relevant from your domain. Okay. Time, I think I have already discussed. Challenges that a fresher is going to face is the job calls. That is the most challenging thing for a fresher, because most of the companies now, they are not recruiting freshers for data science domain. There are few companies and a few service-based companies and a startup, they are recruiting, but most of the companies. So you will be basically, the challenge which a fresher face is job calls. Okay, a working professional without quitting your job, you need to learn. So that is the main challenge. So you need to manage your family also, personal life also, and then you need to manage your office also. So that's the most challenging part. and it will take around, it's not a short-term thing like 2 months or 1 month of course which you just learn and you got something. It's a huge thing. It's going to take minimum 6 to 7 months of time. How to get data science interns? What is the difference between data? This I'll share the video. Okay, so data scientist, the job role for a data scientist. You need to have knowledge of all the things. You will be completely like managing with programming also, machine learning also, and everything. Data analyst, it's a subset, you can say, like you just need a knowledge of R, SQL, Python, and you will be doing the analytics part. You will not be dealing more into machine learning side. So that's the difference. This difference has not yet been standardized. Now this is a theoretical difference. Don't go with that. In actual practical scenario, these differences have not been standardized yet. Okay. Is the domain knowledge required? Yeah, domain knowledge is really important. So, right, even if you are a data analyst, you should have some kind of domain knowledge. Don't try to become a data analyst. All the things you need to also learn. See, I'm not saying what things. If you go for an interview for a data analyst, they will ask you the same thing what they're asking with data scientist. Okay, the actual difference is data scientist interview will be difficult. Data analyst interview will be somewhat easier. They will not be focusing more onto machine learning, but you should have knowledge of machine learning also. Okay, you don't have to be an expert, but you have to crack the interview. They will be asking you this machine learning thing also. So you have, again, for data analyst role also, you need to learn everything. So basically, I'll tell you, if you learn everything, you learn all these modules here. Okay, you learn all these modules here. If you are really good, you can become a data scientist. If you are an average or like somewhat below average, you will be able to become a data analyst. SQL is mandatory. It's mandatory. What if somebody is from a commerce background? Good. If you have done BCom, I'll tell you. Okay. Now there is again two things. There are many profiles which come for a counseling and profile review who has just done BCom. You need to understand after BCom. Okay, I'll tell you. It's better to have an MCom, or after BCom you go for MBA. See, if somebody has done BCom, they will be able to get a salary of 10 to 15,000 rupees, or not 10,000. Okay, 15,000 rupees. Okay, 15K. Now, without learning data science, I'm saying just on the BCom degree, you will be able to get some job with a 15,000 salary. Even if you learn data science, you can't get a very good job. So you don't expect that if you learn data science, you'll be able to get a package of 7 lakhs or 5 lakhs or even 4 lakhs also. Now that's the problem. Because of this BCom, you will not, you won't expect the same thing what a MBA or what a BTech guys are expecting. A BTech fresher versus a BCom fresher, even if both of them learn data science, a BCom guy will be getting a salary of 20,000. A BTech guy initially will be getting a salary of 25,000 or 30,000. After 2 years, this guy's package will be around 10 lakhs. This guy will be struggling at a package of 4 lakhs only. Now that's the difference, or even 3 lakhs only. The companies will not give you a good hike. So even you just do a part-time MBA also, if you have just done BCom. If you have done MCom, then it's somewhat okay. Okay, but if just you have done BCom, you first try to get an MBA, or you can learn all these things and parallelly you plan for your MBA also. Without MBA, it's not advisable. You won't be able to get a good career growth. So what we have done is we will be starting with this free data science preparatory classes where you can just go through these documents. We will be covering all these basics: day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. 5 days we will be covering basics of core Python, okay, and basics of statistics and mathematics. So again, this day 5 I will be taking the class. So this Python basics, core Python, Abhishek will be handling. Okay, in this document the WhatsApp number is there. I'll just share it on chat. Okay, I'll just share the contact number. I'll share this document also. You can just click on the link and download this document. That document also. So we will be covering all these details, basics of core Python plus basics of statistics and mathematics. So now Abhishek will be taking the session. And one more thing, like you will be added to a Google Classroom. Okay. So see, the best way, I'll just explain some more. See, the best way to learn a programming language is through practice. Okay. It's not like, okay, you will just listen to something and someone is presenting, someone is writing the code and you will be able to. The best way to learn a programming language is through practice only, through coding only. Okay. So what we have done is, one thing is our instructor, he will be coding live in the class in online mode. You also download the software and you also start coding with him. Okay. So just do the live coding. Our instructor will also be doing the live coding once he covers the theoretical part, and you also do the live coding and you know, run the code in the class itself. Class means these sessions itself. If you are not able to do that, at least post the class you can do. Okay. And okay, you will be added to a Google Classroom where all the materials and everything will be uploaded. And you will be getting some kind of assignment also, which tool you use. Anaconda, you need to, okay, just today we will be installing the Anaconda. Okay, you can use any of the editor, but if you install Anaconda and all the Python packages, everything will come. So Abhishek will help you to install the Anaconda from tomorrow. Okay, you will be getting the assignment also. So assignment is more important, and since we will be adding you to the Google Classroom, any doubts, any queries regarding suppose you are facing some issues with the compilation of some code or anything, you can just post in that group, a Google Classroom group. So you will be able to get the answer. All the materials and everything will be there. I'll just hand it over to Abhishek. Hold for a second.
Hi, everyone. Hope everyone is fine, and please be aware of coronavirus. So on this note, we'll start with the Python. So I will set few rules here. Okay. So how we are going to proceed with the class, I will let you know. Yeah. So first of all, if you have any question in between the session, you are not going to unmute yourself. Suhas, please mute yourself. Okay, or else I will keep on muting everyone on a regular basis. If you have any question related to any slide, Suhas, could you please mute yourself? I'm requesting everyone to please be on mute. Don't disturb others. Okay. If you have any question related to any slide, please ping in the chat. Okay. If you have any question, I'm repeating, if you have any question, please ping in the chat. Don't unmute yourself. Okay. Yeah. If I'm answering someone and I would ask someone to unmute, then only you will unmute yourself. Okay. Fine. And next, let's say if I'll talk about this topic. If I'll let's say this is the slide and I'm talking about this, or let's say installation. So after covering the slide, I will be giving you a time of 2 to 5 seconds. If you have any question, you can post it in the chat box. Everyone have the access of chat box, okay? So I'm expecting we'll follow these rules, and then I'm starting with this setup. So I think someone has asked about the installation. So we are going to use the Anaconda. Okay, you need to download it. I will show you the website. And the agenda of today's class will be installation and setup. Sangeet, if everyone will start working on a different IDs, then I think it would be a problem. Better we can be on the same note. So everyone should install Anaconda on your system. Okay. So it's better to install Anaconda. We'll be working on it. Okay. And one more thing is that if you'll install Anaconda, you don't have to install separate packages. Okay. I'll tell you everything. Please just wait for a few minutes. Okay. Let me set the agenda. Okay. So we will start with the installation and setup. Then we will go for the basic discussion, why we need operating system, why we need programming language, what is source code, what is compiler, interpreter, compile time error, runtime error, machine code, byte code. So you can see the agenda of today's class. I will try to cover most of the slides from here today. And if anything is left, then we'll cover it in the tomorrow's class. Okay. Now, so the next part is installation. So to install, you may visit this website. You can simply type Anaconda here. Okay, go here and type Anaconda. The first link which is appearing, Anaconda distribution or anaconda.com. You can go to this link. Then on the top right hand side, you can see there is a download button. Click on this download button. You will be guided to this page. And here you can select the version, or first you need to select the operating system. Let's say if you are using Windows, you need to click on Windows, and then the respective software you need to download based on your, which operating system you are using, whether it is 64-bit or 32-bit. Okay. Remember, you have to download only 3.7. Don't download 2.7. We are not going to learn 2.7. Okay. The reason is, in the industry, the requirement is only for 3.x. All the supports from Python community will be shut down for Python 2.7. They will not be providing any support. So it is better to learn 3.7. And if any future requirement will come, it will be coming on 3.x version only. And upper version of 3.x. Okay. So you can download 64-bit or 32-bit. Those who are on Mac OS platform, you can click on Mac OS, and you can also download Python 3.7 version. Okay. So those who are on Mac and Linux, for you guys, this Python comes in built. You can go to the terminal and you can type Python. That is C Python. That is not Anaconda Python. But you need to download Anaconda Python. So once you will download it, it will you need to install it. So while installing Anaconda, you have to do the normal installation. Somewhere it will ask you to download to install this for just you or for all users. So select for all users. And second one, it might ask somewhere to add Python or Anaconda 3.7 or Python 3.7 to path. So check that box also in the window. Somewhere it will appear that add Python 3.7 to path. So select that checkbox also, and then proceed with the normal installation. Just click on next, 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 and it will get installed. Towards the end, you might have to wait for around 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, why? Because it downloads and installs different packages. So it might take some time. So don't unnecessarily close the window, the installation window. Okay, just wait for some time. Once it will be installed on your system, those who are on Windows, they can go to the start button. They will be able to see the Jupyter Notebook, okay, somewhere on the top. So you can click on Jupyter Notebook. So it will start the command prompt. And once something will appear in that command prompt, and after that, this window will open, where you can access all your UI part here. So desktop, downloads, documents, and everything is available. So I would recommend you to make a folder on desktop. Okay, like I have made one folder already, data science prep session. Okay, so how you can make a folder, you can go to new. Okay, for example, I will show you. So the first UI will be coming is like this. Now you can click on desktop, you'll be guided to this. Now if you want to make a new folder, you can simply click here new, and then this folder will come. Okay, click on this folder and you need to rename it. So untitled folder is coming, you need to rename it. So first select this one, and then you are getting a rename option on the left hand side top below files. Okay, click on rename. You can rename it like whatever name you want to give. Okay, so I have given a data science prep session. Now I would delete it. I know I don't require this, so I would delete it. Now I have already created this data science prep session. You can go to this. You can create one more folder here. I would like to ask to download Anaconda. Okay. Okay. So you can click on class 01, and you can create one more folder with name class 01, then for tomorrow's class 02, and so on. Once it is created, you can go inside this class 01, and now you need to create a Python session or a Python 3 file. Okay. So once again, you will click here on new, and you will click on Python 3. Okay. Once you will click on Python 3, this window will appear. Now here you can start coding. Okay. So for those who are on Windows, this will be coming directly once you will click on Jupyter Notebook. But those who are on Mac, they need to go to Launchpad. You need to click on Anaconda Navigator. And once you will click on Anaconda Navigator, this window will come. And from here, you can launch. Even Windows guys will also be having the access to the Anaconda Navigator. Okay. And you can go here, and from here, you can launch the Jupyter Notebook. So these are the two options for both of the users. Okay. Now, once this is done, so you need to create one Python file. So I have created one Python file here. Now this is one session, okay? And you can start writing your code. So whatever code we'll be writing, that will be from very basic, okay? As of now, as I think Mr. Krishna has already told that this is going to be the basic Python, but I'll make sure that you will learn a lot of concepts here. And it has already been communicated that this session is mainly for those who wants to, who are not from programming background or don't know anything about Python. If you know something about any programming language, or if you know some programming language, then also fine. You may join this. You may, you may invest some of your time here. So I think it will be useful for you. You will learn few new concepts here. Okay. Now, so let's say if you want to write the code, I will write a code which will add two numbers. So I'll take A is equal to 10, then B is equal to 20. This is a simple code. C is equal to A plus B, and print C. Now how I can run this code? Okay. So to run this code, you need to click on this run button. Okay. So it will give you the output. Sometime, your kernel will be interrupted and you might not get the output. So in that case, you can stop this shell, and then you can see interrupting kernel, and then you can run this code again. So in that case, it will run again. Okay. Now, if yeah, I think this will be fine, and you can explore these different options here. Okay. So if you have any problem, you can discuss with me in the next class. I think these two things are the most important. Okay. Now, so this is about Anaconda. Let me know. I hope you might have started downloading and installing it on your system. Okay. And the next tool I would be asking you to use is Thorny editor. That will be required for this basic session. Okay. In few cases, in few instances, you need it. Okay. So you can go to this thorny.org. Whatever operating system you have with respect to that, you may download this software and you may install it. This is also a normal installation. Once you will install it on your system, so you can go to your start or launchpad, and from here you can launch the Thorny editor. So it will look like this. Okay. So the first, when you will open this, it will look like this. It will look like this. Okay. Now you need to start something. So I will let you know again when I'll be coming to this part, but you need to click on variables and heap. Okay. Keep this. I will let you know in upcoming class. You will understand why I need it. Okay. See, development for development purpose, we don't use any of these. Okay, we use what do you say? We use Either we use Atom Editor or we use PyCharm. In data science we use Anaconda. Okay, for Anaconda we have, as you can see here, we have the different editors. We can go either for Spider or Jupyter Notebook. You have different options here. RStudio also you have, Orange 3 editor also you have. So in the case of development, you may use any of these editors, but we will be learning with, most of the time we'll be interacting with the Jupyter. So it is important to install Anaconda. And apart from this, see, editor is not a big headache. Okay, so if you learn to code, that is the most important thing. If you learn to code, you can code in any editor. Whether you use Atom, whether you use Thorny editor, or you use PyCharm editor, it doesn't matter a lot. Okay, editor is not a big issue. Okay, you can use Notepad++, Arun, but still I would recommend you to go ahead with Anaconda. Okay, why I'm asking you to go ahead with Anaconda, not with Notepad++, because Notepad++ is for beginners and it's fine. You can start coding in Notepad++, but over the time you need to understand the other editors also. Okay. I hope audio is fine now. Okay, fine. So now we will move to, we have done the installation. So I hope you might have started the installation. You can rename this file also. So I will rename it as 01.python overview. Okay. So this is the first session. And now I will start with the what is OS and what is programming language, why do we need OS, why do we need programming language, all these things we'll be discussing. So the points I have mentioned here is operating system, one of the first program which gets loaded into the RAM. So you know, whenever you boot your system, let's say if you buy a laptop, let's say if you're buying Mac, or if you're buying Apple laptop, or if you're buying Lenovo or Dell, so it comes with an operating system. If you will not have that operating system, you may not run the applications on your systems, right? Let's say if you'll talk about your mobile also, so you need one OS, right? Nowadays Android is the is the most popular OS for mobiles. Okay, so for Apple or for Windows-based system, so Windows is the operating system, and for Apple, Mac is the operating system. Now, these operating systems are the first program, or you can say is the first application which gets loaded into the RAM, and you should make aware of yourself that whenever you start your system, or whenever you start any application, let's say if I'll talk about this Google Chrome application, or this WhatsApp application, or Paint application, or Word application, so all those application gets loaded into the RAM. Okay, and in the RAM some memory will be allocated to that. Now operating system, why operating system gets loaded into the RAM first? Why? Because operating system is the responsible software for allocating the memory to the other applications. Okay, so it is the operating system is the, so I can say operating system is the main. If we will not have any operating system on our system, so I cannot run other application. Okay, so basically operating system interacts with your application and it allocates the resources to your applications. Okay, now, so why do we need OS? I hope it is clear. Operating system is required to run any application in our system. Okay, the next part is, why do we need any programming language? So let's say if I'll talk about this Paint application, I have this Paint application. Okay, and to develop this Paint application, I need some programming language. Let's say if you want to develop a calculator, okay, calculator application, so that will calculate addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and all this. So to do that, to develop that application, you need some programming language. You'll be writing the code for that application in some programming language. So I can say to develop any application, we need one programming language. And why we need an application? To get our task done. Let's say if I want to add few numbers, if I want to multiply a few numbers, or let's say if I want to draw something using Paint, then I need one application, Paint application. If I not have Paint application, I cannot draw anything, right? So in that case, I can say that to get our task done, we need one application. So in other words, I can say to get our task done, we need one programming language, using which we will develop an application, and that application will help us to get our task done. I hope it is clear, everyone. Is this clear? Okay, fine, thank you. So now, having discussed why we need OS, why we need programming language. So see, whatever I'm discussing, everything is related with something. Okay, so if I'm discussing something now, these all things we might need somewhere in the upcoming slides. Okay, so first I'm discussing these things, and then I will show you one pic where you will feel that, okay, so these things were discussed because of this reason. So now we will come to the source code. What is a source code? Okay, so source code, whenever you develop, let's say if I talk about this paint application, I want to develop any paint application. So for this paint application, I need to write some code, right? To develop this paint application, I need to write some code. So the code which I have written, I may use C, I may use C++, I may use Python, I may use Java, any programming language, okay? I may use any programming language. So the code which I have written to develop this paint application, that code is called the source code. Clear? The code which we write. So if you write, let's say if I will talk about this code also. If I'll talk about this code, this is also a source code which adds 2 numbers. Okay, this is also a source code. So a source code may be written for a large application, for a small application, doesn't matter. But if whatever code you are writing, that is called the source code. Okay, so I hope it is clear what is source code. Any question from anyone? Any question? No. Okay. Now, so you can see I have written here the code written in any programming languages to develop any application is called the source code, and users generally don't get access to the source code. Now, if you have seen, let's say if you want to install any application, let's say if I will say you go and purchase a laptop, right? After purchasing this laptop, you need one operating system. Let's say you have purchased a Dell laptop. Okay, you need one operating system. Either you will go for Windows or you will go for Linux, right? Or some other software, no problem. So let's say I will take the example of Windows. When you go and purchase Windows, so they give you some file which you install on your system. Can anyone tell me whether you get the source code or some other code? In the case of Windows, yes, .exe file, correct. That's what I was asking. So you get the .exe file. For most of the application, let's say if you will install Paint, or if you have installed Anaconda also, you can see there you have got .exe file, okay? And this .exe file is not the source code. It is not the source code, okay? It is an intermediate code which you can run on your system. Okay, in other words, it is also called bytecode or executable file. Okay, it is also called executable file which you can execute on your system. Okay, so for Windows you will not get the source code. Why? Because this is not open source. Okay, you have to pay for it. It is not free, it is not open source. You have to pay for it, and even after paying also you will not get the source code. Okay, fine. Now Linux is open source. You can get the source code for this. But what you will do with the source code as a user, let's say if you want to install Linux, what you will do with the source code? You need the executable, right? You don't need the source code. So remember, as a user, when we want to use any application, let's say if I want to use Google application, Google Chrome application, or Paint application, or Microsoft Office application, so I need the executable file. I don't need the source code. That's what I have written. As a user, you don't get the access to the source code. Okay. Now, the next part is, what is compiler and interpreter? This is the, most of the student have the question about this. So what is compiler and what is interpreter? What is the difference between them? Why there are different languages like compiled language and interpreted language? Now, sometimes I get the question whether Python is interpreted or compiled. Okay, so we'll be discussing all these things. With source code, I'll be coming to bytecode in some time, but let me discuss, because bytecode comes after compilation and interpretation. Okay, so let me discuss about compiler and interpreter. So one thing you need to understand is, Compiler and interpreter both are translator. Compiler and interpreter. They both are a kind of translator. Okay. They both are a kind of translator. So what a translator does, let's say if I have a person who speaks in Russian. I have a person who speaks in Indian language, let's say Hindi. Okay. Now, Russian wants to communicate with the Indian guy and Indian guy wants to communicate with the Russian guy. If they will start speaking in their own language, will they able to communicate at all? No. They will not be, Indian guy will not be able to understand Russian and Russian will not be able to understand Hindi. Okay. So somewhere we need a translator which will take this Russian language and it will translate it into the Hindi, right? Similarly, we need translator which will take this Hindi as input and then it will translate it into Russian. Then they will be able to communicate, right? So basically we need a translator. Compiler and interpreter are nothing but they are the translator. Okay. Now, why we need translator in our system? So let's say when you write a program, okay, I have written one program, the program which I have written in Jupyter Notebook, A is equal to 10, B is equal to 20, C is equal to A plus B and print C. This is the 4 line I have written. Okay. Now, your system is made up of what? Is made up of chips. Let's say if I'll talk about a laptop, it made up of chips, small chips, motherboard, okay, and then it is made up of processors, CPU, ALU, all those things, right? They all are the hardware system. And if something is hardware, so they cannot communicate with each other, right? We are the person, we can understand English, we can understand Hindi, we can understand Russian, but these hardwares, they are not human beings, right? A single chip, a single transistor, a single register cannot understand a language, human speaking language, right? So what they can understand signals. Okay. They can easily understand signals. And these signals are in the form, in which form? These signals are in the form 0, 1, 0, 1, like that. Okay. Wherever there is a peak, there is 1, there is a down, there is a 0. Okay. So they understand signal. All your hardware, they understand signal. It means they understand binary. Okay, they can understand only 2 things, either 0 or 1. It means there is no signal or there is a signal. Okay, so finally I can say whatever I'm writing here in the source code, it should get converted into the signal. Indirectly I'm saying the same thing. Whatever I'm writing in the source code, my hardware is not able to understand. Okay, so if I'm writing here, if I'm writing here A is equal to 10, B is equal to 20, I am able to understand, but my system is not able to understand. So finally, for my system, I have to do some translation, right? I have to do one level of translation here. So I need a translator which will convert this into the signals, right? So compiler and interpreter does the same thing. So whatever you write, they translate this into the signals and then they pass it to the hardware. Now, so why compiler and interpreter both? So there are different uses of them. Okay, so I hope it is clear why we need the translator. Everyone, is this clear? Why we need the translator? Everyone, can you please reply in the chat box? Okay, good, thank you. So now let's come to the next point. So what we have discussed, compiler and interpreter both are computer programs. So one thing we need to understand, they are not the hardwares, okay? They are the computer programs. So a program has been written for compiler, a program has been written for the interpreter. So whenever you run a Python program, this compiler interpreter gets activated and they are the programs, okay? So what is the task of a program? So what is the task of a program? I said the task of a program is to achieve a task, to complete a task, right? A program, why we need a program? To get our task done, right? Correct. So this compiler and interpreter are also a program. So they are making our task easier. They are getting our task done. What task done? They are translating this code which we have written to the machine code which machine can understand easily. Okay, so they are the program. Now the next thing is compiler translates the source code to bytecode and interpreter translates the bytecode to machine code. Now what is this? Okay, so let's see that. I will draw a picture now, or rather I will show you this image. So if you can look at this image, there is a source code. Source code means, let's say if I have developed one application to add two numbers, similar program, a is equal to 10, b is equal to 20, and so on. That is the source code. Now this is the output screen. Okay, so if I will draw this picture, in other words, I can say that whenever we write a program, so few things happens which are fixed. One thing, we write a code. Okay, one thing, we write a code, and finally we get some output. Okay, we get some output, and here we have written the source code. Okay, just now we learned that our hardware system cannot understand this source code, so we need a translator. Okay, so what all level of translator will be happening? In the case of Python, we have compiler and interpreter both. Remember, Python is not only the interpreted language, it is compiled and interpreted both. Okay, so what happens? From source code, we have a compiler which converts this source code into the bytecode. Okay, which converts this source code into the bytecode. Now this bytecode, so here we have a compiler, correct? Here we have a compiler. Now this bytecode will be taken as input by a PVM. Okay, this PVM will have an interpreter. Now what is this PVM? So this PVM is equivalent to, we say it is a Python virtual machine. Okay, now how we get this PVM? So you have downloaded Anaconda. You might have downloaded Python. It comes with that. Okay, you don't have to download, or where this compiler comes from. So the Python or Anaconda which you download, it comes inbuilt with that. You don't have to download or install explicitly. Okay, it comes with that Anaconda or that Python. Okay, now this PVM itself is a program. This compiler is also a program, and this PVM has an interpreter. So this interpreter, what it does, it takes this bytecode as input and it converts it into the machine code. Machine code means binary, the code 0 and 1, which I said. Okay, which machine? Basically, machine code means a code which machine can understand. Okay, simple. The further conversion is not possible. Machine will be able to understand those instructions. So CPU, ALU, and memory, all these things need to communicate with each other, right? So they will be communicating and they'll be doing this task. So when they are doing this task, so they need to understand machine code. So how this machine code we will be getting, or system will get, so they will convert, system will convert this bytecode into the machine code using the interpreter. So interpreter is very important. Interpreter is responsible to get the machine code from the bytecode. Now, so it is clear that why we need machine code. From machine code, it will interact with the hardware. This machine code will interact with the hardware, and finally we will get the output. Okay, so it is clear that why we need machine code. Now the question is, why we need bytecode? Why we need bytecode? One extra step, you might have skipped it. Okay, so see, you will not have access to this machine code. Okay, you will have this access to the source code. Okay, let's say you have developed one application which is, you have written one program. Okay, nowadays I will take a recent example. You have written one program which you can there are different reasons. I'll come, Sai Chandra. Correct. Compile once and run everywhere. This is the reason. Okay. So you have written one program. Okay. That program you can install on a system which is used to detect the coronavirus suspect. Okay. I'm taking a recent example. Detect a coronavirus suspect. You can install, this is a hardware has been designed, but software is not there. So you have written the code for that, and that can be installed on this coronavirus, this detecting software, detecting hardware, right? So this program which you have written, this is the source code. You cannot go and run every time on, on a hardware system, right? So you need a kind of code which is compiled, and it may run on all this detecting hardware. One intermediate code you run. So you compile it once and run everywhere. Okay. For example, if you will talk about Windows, when you download and install Windows, or you have downloaded Anaconda. So you have not got the source code. If you will get the source code, then what will happen? What you need to do, you need to first compile it. You need a compiler on your system. If they will provide you the source code, then you will need to compile it. After compilation, you will get a bytecode. And that bytecode, when you will run, then it will get installed on your system. Okay, that is a big headache. As a normal user, we cannot go do all these things. Okay, there are a lot of users who don't know all about this compiler interpreter, how they will do that. Okay, so what they have done, they have came up with the intermediate code which can run on the system easily. You can simply double click on it and it will start running on it. Okay, so this is the bytecode. In the case of Python, the source code having the extension, let's say I will give this file name add.py, and this bytecode I will give the name add.pyc. Pyc is the Python compiled file which can run on any system which has PVM installed on it. Okay, clear? So you compile once and you can run everywhere. So this is the advantage of having the bytecode. So let's say you have developed this application, and if some of your friend is coming to you and is asking for this software, so you will not give him the source code, because to run this source code on his system, he need Python, he need PVM. Sorry, he need the compiler and all, right? So instead of that, let's say if he has compiler already, then you will give him the bytecode. He will simply run this and he will be able to use this. For example, if you have Windows, so when you double click on Windows, yes, Java also has the bytecode that is called the object code. Okay, method. So let's say if you install Windows, so remember you get Windows some file.exe, right? Exe. If you will open this file in Notepad or something, you will find some, something is coming null, or some data will be written, but you will not be able to understand. That is not the source code. Okay, you cannot understand it. Yes, but when you will double click on it, it will start running on your system. Okay, it will get installed and you will be able to use the Windows operating system on your system. Okay, so what they have done, this exe file is nothing but the compiled file. They have compiled a source code and they have generated one exe file. This exe file they are distributing to the everyone. Okay, so if you go and purchase Windows, so they are giving you this .exe file. They are not giving you this Windows.c. They are not giving you the C file, or let's say .c++ or whatever. Okay, so they are giving you this compiled file which you can easily run on your system. So one thing, I will come to that, Mithun. I will come to this platform independency and portability. Okay. So now, how do we get the exe file? We get the exe file. So remember, this .exe file is generated when you write the code in C or CPP. So the bytecode which gets generated, or the intermediate code which gets generated, that is the exe file, right? But in Python, the corresponding compiled file is pyc file, Python compiled file. Okay, so if someone wants to use your application, you will be giving this Python compiled file, which he will run on his system, and then he will be able to get the output. Clear? So I hope it is clear why we need bytecode. Everyone, can you please respond? Or if you need the explanation again, I will explain it again. Please. Everyone, if any explanation is required, please let me know. I will explain it again. There is no problem. I just want to understand that if you have understood why we need bytecode. Okay, thank you. Okay, so now we have seen that to translate from source code to bytecode, we need a compiler. And from bytecode to machine code, we need an interpreter. So these are the two translators which we need. Now, why we need machine code? Because machine code is a translator which can communicate with the hardware. Why we need bytecode? Because we can distribute the version of the software to the different users. So we need the bytecode. Okay, that is the compiled file. Okay, now, so generally, the next point is computer is responsible to the lexical and syntactical. Why we need compiler? So what a compiler exactly does? What is this bytecode exactly? So the image which we have seen, what is this bytecode exactly? Okay, and similarly, what is this machine code? Okay, or after interpretation, whatever code you are getting, what is that machine code? Okay. Okay. So in Python, this compiler creates this bytecode, and remember what will happen. Just we'll see one thing with the help of this image. So there are two kind of error in any program. Okay, there are two kind of errors in any program. The one error will be compile time error, and another error will be runtime error. Okay. Now in Python, syntax error is considered as compile time error. Okay, and apart from syntax error, most of the error are runtime error. Okay, apart from syntax error, all the errors, most of the errors are runtime error. Okay, so like name error or type error or value error. So there are a lot of error. We will see all those things in the in the normal classes, or I will show you once what all errors we have in some time. But syntax error is one error which is not runtime error, and it is a compile time error. Okay, so remember why we need compiler. So compiler is responsible to check the syntactical error. Now we need to understand what is syntax. So when you go and start learning some programming language, sorry, not programming language, some speaking language. Let's say if I'll talk about German, or if I'll talk about English, or if I'll talk about some critical languages, okay, in the world. So the first thing you learn is the letters, the consonant, the vowels in that particular language. Okay, and the next thing you learn is very important, grammar. Okay, this grammar is what? This is a set of rules. Okay, so you have to follow these rules. You cannot skip these rules, right? In every language, you need to follow these rules. Similarly, in the programming language also, there are a few set of rules which you need to follow. Okay, there are few basic set of rules. If you will understand the basic set of rules in any language, so at about, you can say you have learned the 50 to 60%, not 50 to 60%, but basic set of rules, 40 to 45% you have learned. Okay, similarly, programming language, in programming language, if you learn this syntactical rules, I can say 40% of your Python will be, you have learned. Okay, because most of the time when we are in the initial phase, we got lot of syntactical error itself. Okay, those who are not from programming background, they'll find syntactical error, they will not be able to rectify it. Okay, so exactly, they need to, and you also need to understand Python is so easy to learn, and when you code, the error wherever it is coming, it will be identified, the exact place you'll be getting. So if you learn that how to identify the errors, this a good thing. Okay, you can learn it easily. Okay, so this set of rules are very important for you. Okay, now this set of rules are called as the syntaxes in Python. Okay, you need to learn this syntaxes. So what all syntaxes? So I will show you one syntax error. I will make one error, syntax error in my code, and I will show you what kind of error it is coming. Okay. So let's say if I will have a look at this code. So I'm going to make one syntax error here. I will remove this bracket. And if I'll run this again, I will get this syntax error. Can you see? I'm getting the syntax error, unexpected UF while passing. So what syntax error says that when you are using print statement, it should have an opening and closing bracket, right? Then if you will run this code, then it will not give you the error. Similarly, let's say if I will remove this equal to sign, and if I'll run this, it will give me the syntax error. So what the syntax rule says that if you have a number and if you have a variable, how to copy and paste it in new file, new.py file. I didn't understand, Raja. Cell elements. You can simply copy here, just select and Control C, Control V. Or if you want to copy this cell, then you can go to this edit. You have copy cells. In new file, please. Okay. So new file, you can create a duplicate. Okay, you can create a duplicate of this. Okay, fine. So just let me focus here. Okay, so what this syntax rule says that if you have a number and if you have a variable here, so you need to do some operation here. So we will be doing assignment operation here. We are supposed to do the assignment operation. Okay, so if we'll do the assignment operation. Okay, Raja, I will come to that. Just wait for some time. Okay, so if I will do the assignment and then I will run this code again, so there will be no error in this. Okay, now it is running fine. So I can see that the set of rules which are defined. Similarly, let's say if I'll remove this plus sign here and if I'll try to run, so here the different error will come. Okay, now if I'll run, I'm getting name error. I'm not getting, remember, I'm not getting syntax error. I'm getting name error. Okay, and what I told, apart from syntax error, everything is a runtime error. So if I'm running this code, okay, so I'm getting the name error, right? And if you will see, if I'm removing this and then I'm running, so I'm getting the syntax error. So you can see the differences between errors. Okay, exactly, you are getting, this is the syntax error, means it is the grammatical kind of error. Okay, the rule you have missed, so you cannot forget the rules. Now the task of the compiler is to check the syntactical error. If any syntactical error you have in your file, that will be checked by the compiler. Okay, that will be checked by the compiler. So compiler is responsible to check the syntactical error in your source code. If you will have any syntactical error, then this bytecode generation will not happen. Remember, if any syntactical error is there, then the source code will not be compiled and this bytecode will not be generated. Okay, fine. Now, what if I will have some runtime error, for example, name error? Yes, if you have any runtime error apart from syntax or apart from compile time error, then the bytecode will be generated, but you will not be able to run that file. So interpreter catch the runtime error. So interpreter will catch that runtime error and you may not get the proper output. Now, one more thing we need to discuss here about compiler and interpreter. What is that point? So the next point is how a compiler translates the code and how an interpreter translates the code. So compiler, yes, I will show you. I will show you. Just don't get I will show everything. Without the code here, nothing will happen. Okay. So please believe me. Give me some time. I will explain everything. And after that, if you'll have any question, I will be really happy to take those questions. Okay. So just give me some time. I'm explaining it here, and then I'll be coming to the code. Okay. Okay. So now. So the source code, what I said, so what compiler does, compiler, let's say what I said, the compiler takes this source code and creates the bytecode. So what compiler does, if there is no syntax error, then it will take this whole source code as input and it will give you the bytecode. It will convert the whole source code into the bytecode. Okay, means it will do the compilation in just a single stroke. Okay, it will take this whole source code as input and it will translate it into the bytecode. Okay, now how an interpreter works? Interpreter is not as a whole. It doesn't work as a whole. So what interpreter will do, it will take one bytecode instruction at a time and it will convert it into the machine code. Okay, it will convert it into the machine code. Fine, interpreter. So let's say you have 10 bytecode instructions. Okay, and interpreter found the error at line number 4 or instruction number 4. So line number 1, line number 2, line number 3 will be executed. But since the error is at line number 4, it will stop the execution at line number 4 and the further lines will also not be executed. Means if you have any print statement till line number 3, you may get the output till line number 3. Okay. But after line number 3, if you have any print statement or if you have something which should pop up on the screen, it will not, because it has stopped the execution. Clear? Whereas in compiler, what happens? Let's say you have 10 lines of code. If error comes at line number 4, syntax error, if the error comes at line number 4, it will throw the error. That error is here and it will not create the bytecode. But if there is no error, it will take this whole source code and convert it into the bytecode. So compiler takes the whole source code or whole code and does the translator, whereas interpreter takes the instruction by instruction and convert it into the, or translate it into the different code. I hope this is clear. Now, what I said, that compiler checks the syntax error. It will not check the runtime error. Interpreter will check the runtime error. Okay, fine. If there is no syntax error, then, and if there is runtime error, then it will stop the execution here. Now we will cross verify this with the code. Okay, let's see that. Now, so what I will do for this, I'm not going to use Anaconda only for this example. Okay, I'm going to use built-in Python. Okay, so I will open terminal. Okay, so just to cross verify this part, whatever I have explained, now I'm going to use terminal built-in Python. So how to do this? First of all, I will go to the desktop. So cd desktop. Now I'll make a file here. So I will do vim add.py. I have created one file. Now in this, I have written this code already. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I will remove all these things. I will simply have till here. Okay. A is equal to 10, B is equal to 20, C is equal to A plus B, print C. This is the code. Now, this is the source code, right? Everyone is fine with it. This is a source code. So I will save the changes. Okay. Now, what I need to do. So one thing I need to discuss here is, see, this bytecode .pyc file which will be generated, where it will be saved. So when I run this file, let's say if I will run this file directly, add.py, so I will get the output directly. I will show you once. Let's say if I will run python add.py, okay. So I'm getting the output directly. I'm not able to see the bytecode. I'm not able to see the machine code. Machine code you will never be able to see because that is the intermediate code, and that is the kind of signals which are getting transferred between the hardwares. So you'll not be able to see that. Okay, you will be able to see the bytecode. I will show you the bytecode. That is a different thing because that is getting created. And right now it got created, but it is not saved on your system. You can see here the file name is add.py, but you cannot see add.pyc. Why? Because when you run the file like this, python add.py, there's all steps which I have told you. These all steps getting followed, but internally .pyc file will get generated internally. It will have the reference, and then once the output is done, then it will destroy that file. But what my task is, I need to get this .pyc file. So what I will do, I will only compile the file. I will not run the file. Okay. What is Vim? Vim is the editor which is used in this terminal side. So either for Linux or for Apple guys, they use this Vim editor. Okay. So for Windows, you may go to Notepad++. There you may code, and you may go to what to say? You may go to command prompt. There you may directly run the commands which I'm going to tell you now. Okay. With the command which I'm going to tell you now, those commands you need to run, okay? Not the previous command, okay? So now what I will do to get the bytecode is, I will compile this source code and I will get the .pyc file. So remember, whenever I will try to generate the .pyc file explicitly, so where that .pyc file will be saved? So wherever you have saved the file, .py file, where I have saved add.py, I have saved here. Now you can see one PyCache folder is there. I will remove this folder, okay? It was created from my previous class. So whenever I will compile this PyCache folder, if I run this file again, you will see this PyCache folder is not getting generated. Simply 30 output I'm getting, and I'm not getting this PyCache folder. But now if I will, what I will do, I will just compile it. I'm not running it. I'm going to only compile it. When I will compile it, so when you compile, one PyCache folder will get generated, and in that PyCache folder, one file will get generated. That file name will be add.cpython. This file name will be, this bytecode file name will be add.cpython -37.pyc. pyc tells that it is a Python compiled file. CPython tells that which Python implementation you are using. This Python which I'm using now, this is the C Python implementation. Okay, in terminal it is the C Python. Okay, so that's why it is coming C Python. And this Python which I'm using in Anaconda, this is the Aaron Python. That's why you can see here, if you will see here, so this is coming the syntax IPYNB. IPYNB tells that Aaron Python notebook. Okay, Aaron Python is the implementation of the Python in the .NET. So I'll be coming to the different implementation in Python in tomorrow's class, but let me explain this one today. Okay, so C Python -37.pyc. pyc tells the compiled file. C Python tells the Python C implementation of Python. 37 tells that it is the 3.7 version. Add tells that this is the add file name. Okay, so this file name will be generated where? In a folder called PyCache folder, which will be generated here. So when it will be generated, let's see that. I'm going to run this again. Yeah. So now I will compile this file. How I can compile this file? To compile the Python file, first you need to write Python. Then you need to write -m. -m tells that I'm going to import a module. Which module? There is a module in Python which compiles a file. So I'll be using py_compile. This module will only compile the file. It will not interpret it. It will not give you the output. It will simply compile. So in the compilation, it will check whether there is any syntax error or not. So which file I need to compile? Add.py. Okay. So you will see that now PyCache folder has been just generated. Okay. And you can see that there is no syntax error is coming. Correct. Now let's open this. Now you can see add.cpython-37.pyc. Just now 10:03 p.m. it got created. Now, if I will open this file, okay, if I'll open this file, then this is an intermediate code which a user will not be able to understand, but your system will easily be able to understand. Okay, fine. So this is the bytecode we have .pyc file, right? Now it got created when I compiled it. So as of now, you can see I have not got the output. It means I have not run this file. Only I have compiled it. So which stage we are in? We are in this stage. We are in this stage. Okay, Python compiled file. So as of now, I have not made any mistake in the file. There is no syntactical error. So if I'm going to make any syntactical error, will it be caught if I'll compile the file? So let me do that. Let me make one syntactical error. Vim add.py. I'm opening that file and I'm going to make one syntactical error. What I will do, I will remove this bracket. That was the syntax error. I have removed this bracket. Then I'm going to save this and done. Now I'm going to compile it again. Okay. And before compiling, I will delete this previous file with previous PyCache folder. So that you will say that it is not generated, right? It is not there, correct? So let me compile this file again. I have compiled and I'm getting one error, syntax error at line number 4. And you can see PyCache folder is not generated. Clear? So now I can tell that compiler is responsible to check the syntactical error. So all the points which we have discussed, compiler is responsible to check the syntax error. If any syntax error is there, bytecode will not be generated. And if there is no syntax error, then bytecode will be generated. Is these points clear for everyone? Any question? Any question? Please. Anyone? Okay. Okay. Thank you. So now what we have seen from here, that compilation checks the syntactical error. Now, what I said, I mentioned one more point here, that if you will have runtime error in your source code, and then if you will compile, then runtime error will not be checked, correct? Your runtime error will not be checked, correct? So let me make one runtime mistake. I will not make any syntactical mistakes now. I will make runtime error in my file. Okay, what is a runtime error? So a runtime error so a runtime error, name error, right? So let's say if I will try to print D here. Yes, it will overwrite. It will overwrite. Yes, Arun, it will overwrite. Okay. So now if I will print D here, I'm not making any mistake here, right? Everything is fine, no syntactical error in this code, but I'm printing D. If I will run this code, I will get name error. Everything is getting executed till line number 4, but till line number 5, I'm getting one error. D is not defined, and this is the name error. So whenever you are trying to print a name, a variable which is not defined, that is the name error. Clear? So this is not a syntax error, this is a runtime error. So I will write this same code in my file. So let's do that. What I will do, I will go to that file again, vim add.py, and I will rectify this mistake, which is a syntax error. Okay, I will close this bracket, and after closing this bracket, I'm going to make runtime error. I'm printing D, which is not defined in this code. So this is not the syntax error, this is runtime error. So let's see that, colon WQ. Okay, now I'm going to compile this code again. So if I'm compiling, since I don't have syntax error, I have only runtime error. Will it get compiled? Will it create the bytecode? Yes, it will create the bytecode. You can see it compiled successfully. There is no error. PyCache folder is generated just now, and you can see the time is 10:07 p.m. add.cpython 37.pyc. So it got generated just now. It means what we can confirm from here, this point is that compiler is responsible to check the syntactical error. If there is no syntax error, bytecode will be generated. If there is any syntax error, bytecode will not be generated. If there is any runtime error, compiler is not responsible to check the runtime error. It will generate the bytecode with that runtime error. Now we need to check whether that runtime error will be caught in the interpretation stage or not. And one more thing we need to check, that if the error is at line number 4, whether the further lines are getting executed or not. So for that, what I will do, I will go and make one more small change. I will use some more code after that line number, print D. Okay, after this print D, I will write some extra code which is available. For example, if I try to print A, it should get printed because A is available. And if I try to print B here, that should also get printed because A and B both are defined, so it should get printed. So now what I will do, I will recompile this file. I will recompile this file. So it has been recompiled. Now the time is 10:09, and you can see the recompiled file. As Arun asked last time, it will get overwritten. Okay, 10:09 p.m. Okay. Now, so I have this compiled file. Now the main task is, now the next task is, I need to give this compiled code to the interpreter. Okay, that will generate the machine code. So let's see that how we can do that. So to do that, what I will do, I need to go to the location cd _pycache _ I have came to this location. Sorry. Yeah. So I need to run this compiled file. I'm running the compiled file. To run the compiled file, I will write the command python add.cpython -37.pyc. This is the file name, compiled file. I'm giving this compiled file. I'm doing this stage. Remember, I'm doing this stage. Compiled file giving to the interpreter, which will generate the machine code. I'm not doing again from the beginning. Okay. So now I'm running this file. So let's see. You are getting the output for print C, correct? 30. And after that, you are getting the error name D is not defined. And after this line number 5, we were having two more lines, print A and print B. Those lines also didn't get executed here. Okay. So what we can understand from here is that interpreter is a line by line execution. It will stop the execution at the same place wherever it will found the error, and the further lines will not be executed. Before that line, all the lines will be executed. Okay. So I hope compiler and interpreter is clear. Anyone having any question, please go ahead. Any question, please? Any question? Okay. Okay. So what I will do, I should stop this discussion today. Probably we will restart from here tomorrow. Okay. So my target was to discuss all this thing. I think most of the thing has been discussed. You can see in this slide. Compile interpreter we have discussed. Compile time error, runtime error we have discussed. Machine code we have discussed. What is machine code? There are a few links in this PPTs. Yeah. I will tell you where you will get all these things. Okay. And then what is bytecode? Then this is the diagram which I have drawn. and these all are the commands. Okay, these commands will work for Linux, Mac, and all the users. Okay, so Python is interpreter. We need not needed to compile the code. When will all of us will be added to? Yes, Google Classroom. I will tell you how to get the access of Google Classroom. Just wait for 2 minutes. Python interpreter, we not needed to compile the code. Yes, Python interpreter will take the compiled code as an input, Omkari. Okay. Is there any WhatsApp group for any updates? Yes, there'll be a WhatsApp group. So for that, probably you will be getting one link in the mail, in your mail by tomorrow first half, and you need to join that WhatsApp group. Yes, Raja, please ask the question. Raja, go ahead. Same question. Okay. So what was that question? Need to check again. So you needed to copy something. How to copy and paste in a new .py file? Please cell elements in new file. Please, can you please create new file and I want to paste. Create new file. Okay. So if I will create a new file, let's say if I want to create a new file, I will go here. Raja, so just wait for 2 minutes. I will come to your question, because let me explain how to get access to the Google Classroom, because it is getting late, so people might leave the meeting, so they should get aware of it. This is important. And then probably we will discuss your points towards the end of the session. Okay. So to get the access of the Google Classroom, what you need to do, you need to go to your Gmail account. Okay. So yes, we have the meeting at the same time tomorrow. I will start with the Python. Okay. Okay. So what we will do now is, yeah. So what you need to do is, so see, you need to first open the a Google tab, fresh Google tab. Remember, this account, both accounts should be similar. Okay. These both accounts should be similar. This account and this account, both should be similar. Once you have cross-verified it, it is similar. Go and type Google Classroom. Okay. Now, after going to Google Classroom, you just click on this second link, classroom.google.com. Okay. And once you will open this, so here you can see one plus button. This plus button, you need to click here on join class. Okay. After clicking on this join class, I'm going to send you the class code right now. Okay. In the chat box. So everyone will copy it and keep it for your reference. Okay, means you can just use that join code. Okay, just now you can do that, so that you'll be having the access to that Google Classroom. Okay, so just give me a second. Yeah. So I have pasted the class code. I have pasted the Google Classroom code here. You can copy it and use. You can do it right now. You can go to this, and here it is asking for the class code. You can enter this class code right now. Click on join. Once you will click on join, so you need to wait for 2 minutes. Now this thing will open. Okay. So here you can go to classwork, and in the classwork, you will find Python assignment and solution. Few assignments are uploaded here over the class. You will be having the access to this. You can download and you can start solving it. You will be having the class material. Okay, for every session, like for today's session, in the class material, the image file which I have used, the Python code which I have used, the IPYNB file which I have used, all things will be uploaded in class material. In the class recording, today's class recording will be uploaded. Okay, so a sample recording, you just need to click on this and then it will open it. Okay, in a new window. Okay, so you can play this directly in the Google Drive. Clear? Fine. So this is how you can access the Google Classroom. So use that Google Classroom code to join. I think you can see here. Sorry, I have paused the sharing. So you can see here. So this is the Google Classroom. From here you can access class material and class recording. Okay. This is the Python assignment and solution. Fine. So this is how you can access the Google Classroom, and by tomorrow you will be getting the access to the link through which you can join the WhatsApp group probably. So you can join using that WhatsApp group where all the communication will be done. Okay. Any question? Any question? So if no, then thank you very much everyone for joining, and those who have any question, they can wait here. Okay. They can wait here, and rest all can leave. So we have ended this session earlier today. You can let me know if you guys are fine. We can if we can continue till 10:30 because there is a huge topic and we need to continue at least for 2.5 hours. Okay, so it will be better if we can. Thani is compiler interpreter. See, it's not about Thani. Thani is an editor. Lakshmi. Okay, it is an editor. So any Python editor comes with both compiler and interpreter. Okay, so it's not about Thani. All the editor, when you will link Python with that, so it will come with both compiler and interpreter. Okay. I missed the code. It is there in the chat. Okay, it is there in the chat. You can see. Just I think 10:15 p.m. I have posted it. Okay. Okay, so it's not a problem. We have the people from across the globe. So if you are joining, yes, thank you, Chandrasekhar. So if you're joining from Istanbul, that's really nice of you. So thank you for joining, and we'll meet tomorrow. Okay, so if you have the timing problem, so I can't do anything related to that. So probably you can manage for 1 week of time. Okay. PPT material, everything will be shared in the Google Classroom. Ishan, I think. Okay. Thank you, everyone. So you may leave. Raja, you may come up. So your question was if you want to copy. Okay. So let's say if I will create one new file. Is nothing uploaded. I told you it's nothing uploaded as of now. Okay. So will be uploaded by tomorrow first half. Okay, because this recording is getting recorded in the cloud. So it will take at least some 1 or 2 hours of time. So it will take some time. So tomorrow I'll start with the, I'll start with at 8 o'clock. Okay. And if you need any extra information, then please go to this link. I think it is already provided in the mail. So you can go to this link, and here is a WhatsApp number. You can ask any question related to this particular session on this WhatsApp number. Okay. Anyway, you may use this number. Okay. So Raja, now coming to your question. Thank you, Arun. So I will create a new Python file. I have created it. So what you want to copy all the cells here in this, right? All these cells, these 2 cells, right? So let me do one thing. I will select these 2 cells. Okay. Two cells I have selected. I'll go and I'll copy cells and I will paste it here. Thank you, everyone. So I don't think we have this option, Raja. Copy cell attachments. Let me see. Let me check. If we have, we should be able to do that. I think it should be there. We don't have that option. It is not showing. Okay, so I have copied the cells. I have copied the cell attachment also. We are not able to do that. Okay. So what if we can create a copy of this? Yes, Raj, we have the session tomorrow. Okay. So if you want to do duplicate, you can do duplicate, no? duplicate this. You have the duplicate, correct? So this is the one, and this is the duplicated one, copy one. This is the duplicated one. You have this option, I think. Okay, Raja. I hope this is clear. You can do this way. You can create a duplicate. Yes, same time, Raj. No, same link. Aswin, it will be the same link. Okay. In case if there was some problem with the internet today, so in case if such problem persists, so we may change the meeting. With this account, there might be some problem or something, so we need to check, and we will notify you well in advance. We will notify you. Okay. What are all the topics we are going to cover tomorrow? So see, I think we have covered most part of it. We are going to start with indentation, naming convention, identifiers, basically you can say, platform independency, portability, dynamically typed programming language, and all those things, the extra topics. Then probably I will give 5 to 10 minutes how a Python program runs on your system. And then I will go for the next slide, second slide. This Python basics, where I'll be starting with the input and output function, and then I'll be going through the operators. After operators, I'll be going for the if else and for loops. Okay, for loops and while loop. So till operator, we might not be having a lot of code, but yes, from if else and from loop, I will start giving you a hell lot of problems. Probably you may do it at home. We will not be having enough time because in class we have 4 hours of sessions. So I recommend everyone to do the programs in the class so that I can rectify the mistakes and all. But since it is a 2 hour of session, so we'll not be able to do the code in the live class. But yes, you can practice it at home, and then probably we can check it in the next class. Okay. Fine, Raj, Dinesh, who asked this question? Dinesh, I think. Basically, I want to copy paste few code from other files. Few code, then what you can do, probably you need to select the code and copy and paste it in the other file. Raja. Okay, or you can do one thing, no, you can copy this, you can create the duplicate. After going to this duplicate, you can delete the code which you don't want. You can, let's say if I don't want this cell, okay, so I can delete this cell directly. You don't have to delete the code, you can delete the cell. Okay, so probably this is the good option instead of copying and pasting and deleting all the code one by one. Okay, you can select the multiple cells. You can select the multiple cells and then you can delete the multiple cells at a time. This one also you can do. Okay, Raja. Dinesh, see what I would say. First thing is we need to survive. That is the first thing, Dinesh. If you will survive, you will have the opportunities. Obviously, there'll be a lot of layoffs. There'll be a lot of there'll be a lot of hiring as well apart from layoff. So now the world will completely change after this this particular pandemic. So what will happen actually? You will find a world which was before this COVID-19, you can say, and after COVID-19. Okay. So after COVID-19, the world will be a bit scary, but you cannot say that not for everyone. Those who will invest this time in learning few new technologies, they will be having a lot of opportunities. But those who are simply sitting idle and not doing anything, they will think, okay, so we are working from home. After the after this will get over, we will be having the job security and all. So probably this is very scary. So you need to keep your backup. Okay, so I would recommend to do some good courses, some gather some knowledge, read as many as much you can, and gather the knowledge. And after this all things gets over, I think it will be a better place for a number of reasons. Okay, and you will be having the job. It's not like everything is going to be negative, but yes, few things will be positive also. What platform would you recommend for what to learn? For learning, I think there is a site link. I don't have the access to that. Probably that site link we will post 1 minute. Let me check. Okay, just give me a second. I will send you a link. Okay. No, this is not my number, Raja. This is someone else's number. You may check that number. So just ping on that. You will get some response from them. I will send you a link 1 minute. Huh? Yeah, so this is the link, and here there are lots of materials available. So you can click on this link, and here you can see meetup and register for free live online data session, preparatory classes, Python for data science free classes, learn statistics, machine learning algorithms, AI projects are also there. Okay, so you can click on this and you start learning. At least don't sit idle. When you have official work, you are working from home, that's fine. But if you feel that I need to go outside and fight board, so to take care of your family and yourself, please don't go outside. You can invest your time into this. Okay, so you can start working with the different projects, you can start learning and all, so you can do that. Okay, yeah. Okay, Dinesh. Okay, everyone, good night, everyone. Keep safe, and we'll meet tomorrow at 8 o'clock in the evening. Fine, good night. Thank you.